Hello and welcome to UMD News. For this hour, I am Shimelis Gebremichael. In the headlines, Ethiopian rebels attack Gambella. Government says it is in control. UN cuts food aid to 1.7 million hungry people in South Sudan. US top diplomat for Africa presses Sudanese military to restore civilian government. And now we're moving to the news in details. We invite you all to stay with the program. In the meantime, please do not forget to like and share our programs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is UMD News with me, Shimelis Gebremichael. Ethiopian rebels attack Gambella. Government says it is in control. Heavy fighting broke out on Tuesday morning between Ethiopian troops and rebel forces that attacks Gambella town, sources with direct knowledge told Sudan Post late Tuesday. The attack on the border district, one government official said, was launched by the rebel Gambella Liberation Front (GLF) and Oromo rebels led by General Ato Gatuluk Bom Paul, one official said, on the condition of anonymity. The fighting in Gambella started at 6 a.m. on Tuesday. The attack was launched by rebel led by Ato Gutlak Pal of the Gambella Liberation Front Army and Oromo rebels. The official added the fighting started outside the town and then collapsed into the center, and a fierce fight was fought around the parliamentary building, and this area the rebels suffered defeat and some of them were arrested, according to this official. Another government official described the fighting as brief. The areas which were penetrated by the rebels inside Gambella, like Gonda and 3 other areas, have now been retaken by the government from the rebels, who have since fled, according to the information we have read. In a statement, General Gatluk said the operation in Gambella was targeting security forces and denied that the rebel forces were looting civilians' properties and killing them. Gutluk said operations conducting by Gambella Liberation Front (GLF) and Oromo Liberation Front (OLF) in Gambella capital city is targeting only security forces, institutions, PP leaders and government armed forces. He added, therefore, we are seriously warning the civilians not to come out from their houses to avoid crossfire. UN cuts food aid to 1.7 million hungry people in South Sudan. At least 1.7 million hungry people in South Sudan are losing humanitarian food aid at the worst possible time as the United Nations World Food Programme suspends the help. As the United Nations World Food Programme suspends the help, blaming critical funding shortages, South Sudan faces unprecedented hunger amid climate shocks, soaring food prices linked to the war in Ukraine and recovery from civil war. According to WFP, which said it had to halve food rations last year, over 60% of the population of more than 11 million people faces severe food insecurity. WFP said among those near losing food aid in the middle of South Sudan's lean season are 178,000 children who will no longer receive school meals. Food security experts have warned that 1.4 million children will be acutely malnourished during the lean season between June and August. WFP acting country director Adeyinka Badijo said in a statement, humanitarian needs are far exceeding the funding we have received this year. If this continues, we will face a bigger and more costly problem in the future, including increased mortality, malnutrition, stunning, and disease. And finally, U.S. top diplomat for Africa presses Sudan's military to restore civilian government. Assistant Secretary of State for African Affairs Molly Fee pressed the Sudanese military leaders to restore the civilian-led government, adding that it was crucial for the resumption of economic aid. He was on a 5-day visit to Khartoum from June 5 to 9 to encourage the Sudanese stakeholders to engage in a dialogue process to establish a framework for a civilian-led transitional government. In a statement released on Monday, the U.S. Embassy in Khartoum said that the senior diplomat met with Sudan's political parties, civil society groups, and peace signatory groups. In her meeting with the coup leaders, she urged to implement the confidence-building measures and to hold accountable and security agents who killed over 100 protesters and perpetrators of sexual assaults. The U.S. top diplomat for Africa and the Saudi ambassador Ali bin Hassan Jafar broke the meeting between the military rulers and the Forces for Freedom and Change (FFC) on June 9 to discuss ways to end the current crisis. She is pressed by Congress to take measures against the Sudanese military who make pledges without implementing them. Following the meeting, the tripartite mechanism paused the dialogue process, which they launched on June 8 without the FFC, the main rival of the coup leaders. The three facilitators on Friday, June 10, 2022, met with the FFC leaders. It is not clear if they will respond to the coalition's demand to not involve in the first phase of the dialogue political groups allied to former regime and not supporting the military component. Well, dear viewers and listeners, with that we come to the end of the news for today. This has been Shimelis versus Gebremichael with UMD News. Please do not forget to like and share our programs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you for watching and have a good one.